Okay, maybe I'm going to go philosophical a little bit.
No, please,
Yeah.
make it calm down so that everybody...
No. I'm saying,
Yes, okay.
Actually, I want to calm down. When I say philosophical, let's understand ourselves as Nigerians. I'll give you a few examples. IBP, and that's I better pass my neighbor, right? When I say I better pass my neighbor, everybody knows what I mean. If you're not Nigerian, you may not understand, right? So what does that mean? Necessity is the mother of invention. Nigerians find creative ways to solve problems that are practical, right in your face. They find a way I better pass my neighbor. Or mouth. Oga manage it like that. Yeah. So we find ways to survive
All these acronyms.
less than the best conditions, less than perfect conditions. We find a way around it. Yeah. Or CAC, that is chop and clean mouth. Yeah. In other words, we are all driven by self-interest many times. You see, we have to understand ourselves. Yeah. And this is the reason why the Super Eagles won the Olympic thing in 1996 or something like that. Mass attack, mass defense. Let's play street football. Let's play our own type of football. So if we are going to meet our budget targets, we need to first understand that solving Nigeria's problem is the responsibility of Nigerians. It has to be. That's the only way we can survive, and that's the only way we have actually survived, by walking around these problems and not thinking that our solution lies somewhere else. Yeah. So, first is, if there's a problem, it's either some things that need to drop, or some things you need to adopt. New things you need to adopt. Sustainability is one thing. How do we sustain growth in our industry? One of the things that we tend to ignore, one of our strengths, is local content. We see local content as a negative, but actually it's a very strong strength. And if it's such a bad thing, how come other countries are copying our model? From Ghana to Senegal to East Africa, they are copying our model. Because you're building capacity locally. And we saw it in COVID. In COVID, nobody could fly. You couldn't fly somebody in from Aberdeen or from Houston. And what happened? The industry was sustained during that period by purely local content efforts.
But these are two different, yes.
You were talking about finance now, yeah? I'll give you another acronym, PSS. Pay small, small. Everybody knows what that means. Yeah? Book me down. You see, so modularity in terms of solving our issues, finance-wise and co, is a strength. The ability to be able to walk around and build problems from a modular approach, solving the problem. If you look across the oil and gas industry, for example, we look at the PMS thing, people are talking about gas now, trying to use gas as a means for locomotion and all these things. Understand one thing, sustainability is key. Local content is a strength. Nigerian companies are all over the place. Nigerians are working in Saudi Aramco, helping them increase their production, right? And they are being treated like illegal children back home. So we need to understand that local content is actually a strength. And in other words, there's an announcement for a production war room. Local players, both from the independent producers, from PETAN, the local content group, we need to all be together to set production targets, challenge the process. And I can tell you that production will increase. That's sustainability.
What happens to Nigeria's membership? If you set your own target, is it going to be at par with the OPEC? Because OPEC has already given us a target of 1.5.
The potential, you don't need to drill new wells. The thing is that we're in a declining business. The moment you start producing a reservoir, it starts to decline on you. You didn't put the oil there, but think about it as even it's in a tank. The moment you start sucking the oil from that tank, and you're not putting any new oil in, the level will start to reduce. So we're in a declining business. So you need to keep working it. We all got up this morning, we took our bath, we brushed our teeth, and for those who are not fasting, well, you ate some food. If you're not sustaining your business is going to decline faster. You will decline, you deteriorate faster if you're not eating. It's the same principle. But how for do? Again, it's another acronym, if you like. Yeah, we have what it takes to sustain and grow our production internally. If you look at the last marginal bid round, yeah, the players, the first marginal bid round, a lot of operators went across the world trying to raise money. I can tell you that 90% of the companies that went to production sourced the money locally and the expertise locally. I can tell you that. All the major marginal field players. So therefore they formed the IPPG. So our solution lies internally. Sustainability is very key. Security of supply is another thing. And that's linked to socio-economic impact. The distinguished professor made what he said. But if you lived and worked in the Niger Delta, you know that the situation is more complex. There's a feeling of entitlement. And you can even argue that it is right. That the people have some quote-unquote rights. There's honor among thieves. So the truth of the matter is that if you drive from Nembe, or you can't drive, you go by boats, by canoe, from Nembe to Kolama, all across Agé, all those areas. It has not changed in 50 years, 70 years. They are producing oil. What do you want the person to do? The truth of the matter is that they feel quite right. I know an operator now discovered that around his field there were like 8 illegal refineries. What did he do? He didn't bring in the people to go and destroy. He came and discussed with them. And they said that it was costing them 8 million, 10 million naira to set up the business. And so he started negotiating with them to see how he can convert them into part of his workforce rather than burn and kill. When you burn and kill, they just relocate to somewhere else. Why? Because that's their only means of sustenance.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah.